Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. So today is another rainy, wet day outside. And so I am just needing to get stuff done around the house. We are a subtropical area, as you guys know. And so there's always going to be times that, you know, we got to be in the house. We got to be doing stuff. So I just shot a video just a little bit ago about the honey garlic. So make sure that you guys are doing your honey garlic. And then I went out to the garden and there was a little papaya that was ready to be picked. So I've gone ahead and I've peeled this papaya. All right, and so I want to show you guys how easy it is. Nature brings us what we need here in Florida. We can grow some really great tropicals. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these seeds out and I'm going to scoop them into... So I'm scooping this into our strainer, and because I want to get the seeds out. And so the strainer, I'm going to end up washing these seeds because you don't want the inside of it, the actual skin. You're just wanting the black seeds. Now you guys do your research. There are just certain people that I would say definitely do not eat these seeds. But what we want to do is we want to rinse these seeds off, and then I'm going to dry them on a cookie sheet. Now these definitely look like pepper balls, so if a peppercorn. So if you've ever seen a peppercorn, that's basically the same thing. I will tell you that doing this is going to create for us a natural pepper here in Florida, and so we're going to rinse it off, and then I'm going to come back and kind of show you what this looks like. All right, so we're just going to take a cookie sheet. I kind of just like rinsed it off real quick. So it's just a small cookie sheet. I'm just going to go ahead and lay just a piece of pre-cut parchment paper. If you have wax paper, that, you know, whatever you have like that, that'll work. I'm just going to go ahead and lay this out over here. And then I'm going to take these seeds and dump them out. Now obviously you're not going to get all of the flesh off of these seeds, so just do the best that you can to get the seeds like rinsed off. Now if I kept messing with it and didn't have a video that I'm shooting, it would be much easier because I have all the time in the world. But for video purposes, I'm just going to show you basically what this looks like. Like I said, kind of be nitpicky about this. You don't want the skin anywhere on this as much as possible because it will clog up your pepper press. But basically you're wanting to have these little just clean pieces. So go through and start like peeling that out. Take your time. Get all this orange and skin and flesh off of this. But right now this is what I have. So when I have a bunch come in, y'all have seen me pick 5 or 6 at a time. This will get very full. You want it to kind of be dry. If need be, you got 2 options. One, you can do an actual dehydrator, put these in the dehydrator, and that will dry them out. But the other pieces is if you don't have a dehydrator, one of the easiest ways to preserve this is you can just pop this in the freezer, let them get nice and hard, and then you can take them out as needed and it will be perfect for grinding. But for me, I'm just gonna kind of let this air dry today. I'm not gonna actually put this in the dehydrator, and it's an easy way for us to be making our own quote-unquote pepper. And so just food for thought. Now obviously you need to do your research because these seeds are actually used medicinally, and you don't want this to interfere with any medication or anything that you're doing. So always do your own research. I'm just telling you what we do here and how we try to preserve every piece of what we're bringing in for harvest. So we still got other stuff that we got going on today. We are going to be out in the garden. It is raining, but I do have some projects that I need to get done out there, and I'm going to show you what one of those projects is going to be. All right, friends, so on our list of projects, I have ordered us another guava. So as you guys know, I did have a guava that was over here. I didn't really talk about it until like a little bit more recently. Our guava, because the squirrels keep getting into it, and I had it up here in a bucket kind of close to our porch area on our back side of the house. And so I was doing a little bit of shopping, and I had to get some, I'll just show y'all because it's sitting right here, Neem Bliss Meal. This is an all-natural fertilizer. It is derived from the neem tree, which we do have a neem tree here. I have 2 of them on our property. And so basically you just take 1 teaspoon per gallon of soil and mix it thoroughly. Now this will help with root not nematodes. It'll kind of help to reduce this, but I've also noticed, so keep this in mind, I've also noticed that it kind of bites back on my earthworms. So I don't know if it's because this has kind of got those anti-pest properties to it, but so I haven't used it in all my beds because I don't want to kill back my good beneficial worms. And maybe something else is killing them, but it just seems like since I've been implementing this, I've been noticing more death of my worms. So so this is what I ended up ordering. I got that, and then I had to get, I'll show you guys, because you want to be adding these nutrients, especially if you have beds like I have. This is Bio Live. And so basically you're going to implement this into your beds. You can read all about it on the back of this box. This is down to earth, and basically this is helpful for me during the fall when I'm getting ready to start putting plants back into those beds after they've rested for a couple of weeks or whatever. Because I'm going to be starting my fall growing officially. So here is my beautiful guava. This place was selling plants. Look how tall this plant is. Y'all, it's so tall. I'm so proud of this. And it was not bad priced at all. So right here on the front, it's beautifully laid out for me. This is a pink guava. And so it's high in vitamin C, fiber, folate, potassium, vitamin A, copper, and magnesium. Contains pectin, which may improve blood sugar control and digestive health. Antioxidants in guava have been shown to protect cells from oxidative damage. So this is a really awesome plant. They're already telling you all about it. I literally just read that off of the plant. It is in really excellent health. It shipped wonderfully. They did a really good job shipping this. I ordered it from a company called Seed World. And so it is actually in Florida, and so it's honestly within driving distance to me. In fair driving distance. And so I am probably going to be going to their location and checking out all the stuff that they have now that I know that they actually grow plants such as this. Now here's the really crazy thing about guava that a lot of people don't know. You pretty much just want to get one guava and pray that it lives, because guavas have a tendency to be an invasive species. So the reason why that is because they will actually take off, their roots will take off, kind of level off at the surface. And so you want to be adding nutrients back into that surface area, mulch it, but not heavy mulch it, because you don't want it to get root rot. It needs good drained soil. That's why it's usually best here in Florida to honestly grow a guava in a container, because like I said, you don't want this to become invasive. There are so many beneficial properties to the guava, but like I said, it can create runners basically, and it will take away from the actual plant itself. You also want to prune this tree. You definitely want it to be a singular stem to the best of your ability, because you don't want it branching off, breaking off, and just going crazy and wild, right? So there's a lot of benefits. Let's talk about those. I'm literally just going to read this to you. You do your own research. But here are some of the basic benefits of having a guava. So even if you didn't get any fruit, the leaves themselves contain a fiber and antioxidants that can aid in digestion, reduce constipation, and improve gut health. Guava leaf may help alleviate cramps, like if you have heavy periods or something like that, ladies. You're gonna be maybe wanting to try this. Again, always consult with a doctor. I'm just giving you what I'm reading here. It says it alleviates menstrual cramps, reduces bleeding, and regulates menstrual cycles. So that's good to know. Blood sugar control. Studies suggest that guava leaves may help lower blood sugar levels, making them beneficial for women with diabetes or pre-diabetes. Guava leaves are rich in antioxidants and can help to protect cells from damage caused by free radicals, and it helps to reduce risks of chronic disease like cancer and heart disease. This is also good for immune support. It's high in vitamin C, and it says it helps to boost the immune system. And it makes, it says specifically, making women less susceptible to infections. So, you know, even if you get like a UTI or something like that, you may want to try some guava leaf tea. So, like I said, just be thinking about how nature heals us and why we want to be growing the plants that we're growing. So there's, they also help for reducing anxiety, improves sleep quality, and lowers cholesterol. Now that's just the benefits of the leaf itself. So obviously there are benefits in the fruit. And so do your own research. I'm not going to go into like super deep detail about that. But, you know, I think that it's important that we at this point, like I said in my earlier video, I am shooting 2 videos today, just so you guys are aware. I am actually following through on this second video. And so I just think that I had just mentioned to you guys about the increase of tariffs, and that one of the increases is falling on medication, and it's 100% increase. And so, you know, I feel like here in the States, medicine is very costly. And so I think that people really need to kind of be going back to nature to heal themselves. That's just my personal journey. And so by doing that, I have to take a proactive measure of figuring out what works for me. And so the guava itself, you know, when you're getting the fruit will kind of look like, let's see if you guys can get that picture. Probably not. It's not really showing up very well, but there's the picture. It's got a nice pink inside. Some of the seeds can be really hard, so make sure if you're like biting into that you're kind of shifting through some of those seeds. You don't want to break a tooth off on the seed. But you know, you can make guava jellies. There's always guava pastries. I'm pretty sure you can make guava juice. So there's lots of fruit benefits. But guava is packed in essential nutrients, including vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, magnesium, fiber, everything that was already listed on the bucket for you. So, you know, but this is just pulling from the internet. It improves digestion, which we talked about earlier, regulates blood sugar, reduces heart disease, protects skin health. There's so many beneficial things that are happening with this guava. So what you can do is you can propagate these plants fairly easily. Like I said, when the runners of the roots kind of break off, what will happen is you will start to see shoots coming out of it. And at that point, I would let the shoots, if you want to start propagating them, I would let the shoots kind of really establish themselves. Not super established, but enough where you can dig them out and cut them, because you don't really want those runner roots like that. In that regard, they'll start to surface for you, so you'll see them. But you can take those off, and you can actually take and kind of dig them out of the branch or stem itself, and you can actually propagate your plants that way. There's several ways to propagate guava. You do your own research. But so what I'm saying is that I think once you make an investment into this plant, it's a continual investment for you. It is going to keep coming back and keep producing. This plant can potentially get up to 15 to 20 feet tall here in the state of Florida, where I am. And so you can maintain it. You can actually kind of cut it back. That's actually really encouraged. You want to do the cutting back of it. It's going to fruit in the fall. That's really a good time to be getting the fruit off of this. So right after your fall harvest that you're getting the fruit, I would go ahead and start probably trimming it back at that point, and just making it, like I said, keep it as singular as possible. So that way, I mean, you want a couple of branches around it, maybe at the top, like a lollipop, kind of make it look like a lollipop, but make sure that you just have a singular stem towards the bottom of that plant. And so anyway, I'm thinking that I'm either gonna put this number one in a bucket so that way I have more control of it. I do have an available bucket that I'm gonna use, and or I'm gonna put it back there by the papaya forest area. That's what my fiance is kind of tossing around with me, is that he's thinking that maybe we should actually just put this one in the ground and put it back there by the papaya. So we're gonna contemplate on like how we want to proceed with that piece of it. But I am excited. I want to share this plant with you guys. A really good plant to be having. It's got so many medicinal benefits and benefits just overall, getting something in your body that you might not otherwise get, that wouldn't be imported, or you know, you're spending a lot of money. So if you can get a tree that's going to produce a lot of fruit, this fruit tree will actually start to produce around year 2 or 3. You can actually start getting fruit off of it. Now, it may not be in great abundance, but it will start producing. Obviously, keep the squirrels off of it. So that's the plan for today. Even though it has been rainy and wet and gloomy, that's one of the things that we've been working on. We are also still pulling off the purple beautyberry seeds. I am actually freezing those so that we can make some jelly. We're going to be making some jelly with that. Not today because I don't have enough seeds yet, but that's why I said don't forget that you can wash them off and stick them in the freezer until you get enough seeds to actually be doing your jellies. Like I said, we have to be thinking about the holidays. The holidays are coming up, and nothing is better than having a natural gift to give to your friends, families, and loved ones. And so I'm hoping this year to give them a treat that they haven't ever had before. We have never done beautyberry jelly. Because you have to be really cautious when doing the beauty berries because they do have a toxin in them, and so you've got to get that cooked out. You really got to pay attention to what you're doing. You don't want anyone to get sick. I do want to share something with you real quick about the beautyberry plant. The reason why I kind of have it over here by our house, I'll show you right where it's at. All right, so it's right here by our porch, and I haven't really dived deep into the beautyberry, but the leaves themselves, I just wanted to share with you guys, you can actually crush these leaves up. You're going to use about 1 cup of leaves. This is how I do it. I use about 1 cup of leaves to 1 cup of like rubbing alcohol, and what I do is I actually make a bug spray with this. I think it's amazing. You can actually, if you're out in the wild and you know it's some end times are happening or something, you can just take the leaf off, crush it, and rub it on your skin. It is a natural mosquito repellent, and in some areas of Florida we are heavily populated with mosquitoes. You can see that there's more berries that are coming up, flowering, and so we're gonna have more to actually plant. There's a tomato coming through all on its own, but yeah, keep that in mind. That's why you want a beautyberry tree or bush in your yard, because you'll be able to actually utilize it for other purposes. So again, if you know we couldn't get to something and you had to make something naturally, make sure that you're keeping some alcohol on hand. Put it in a little spray bottle after it's sat for maybe, I would definitely give it about 48 hours. Make sure you're shaking it back and forth. That's what I do. Just make sure you're shaking it back and forth. You're gonna strain it, like use the strainer I had, then put it in a little spray bottle. I like to keep just the tiny spray bottles. There's a plane going over us. I like to keep it in the tiny spray bottles so that way my family can travel with those bottles, or we can travel with it. We can put it on the boat, and it'll last about 2 or 3 months. So it's not something that's long term, but it is good. And the plant, it's an evergreen. I have never seen the leaves completely die off. So all year round, I have been able to get leaves off of this plant and make that product. And nobody wants to be putting other stuff on their skin that's really not natural. So just think about natural ways that you can be otherwise using these plants. So just food for thought. Do your own research. I will list the recipe that I use for this plant down in the comment section. You guys can read that. And then if you choose to make it, great, but definitely do like a sensitivity test, because this may be irritating to the skin. Don't get it near the eyes or the mouth. Obviously, you know, use your head when you're doing these natural products, and especially with kids, be cautious, because you don't want to be putting this on baby skin or anything like that. You know, because you just don't know. Your body absorbs things, and you just, you know, you got to be proceeding with caution. That's why I said this is really a plant that is definitely one of those plants that I love having, but I think you have to really use your head when you're you're making stuff with this plant. So all right friends, so I'm gonna get started on planting that guava. I have a bucket over here. I think I might actually start it off in the bucket and kind of transplant it and baby it, because we are going to be going into fall and I don't want that plant to die back. It does not like cold weather. All right friends, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. All right friends, so here is your bonus, not bonus. I'm actually going to walk you through the process of how to make that bug spray. So it's really easy. Just get yourself a glass jar. Now, depending on how much you want to make, if you want to make a bigger jar because you've got more people, then you know, you do what's best for you. I'm going to give you a low ratio so that way you can just increase it as need be. But basically we want to collect about a half a cup of leaves, and then we're going to need a fourth of a cup of rubbing alcohol. So I just got mine at Publix, which is one of our grocery stores. And then you just need a spray bottle. So this is a hand sanitizer spray bottle. You can buy these, honestly, like bottles similar to this with a little sprayer on them from Amazon, or, you know, apothecaries usually carry them. I like to use the brown or the blue just because it kind of helps to keep things lasting longer. And so here is the leaves. What we're gonna do is, now you don't want to pick them all from one branch. You just want to take a couple off the plant, and just for demonstration purposes, like I said, you want to get about a half a cup or so. I just roll mine over. We'll just collect a few so I can kind of show you the process. All right, so I've got my little cup here. Here's the leaves. All right, so basically what I do is I just end up, you can crush these leaves. They've got a really kind of funky smell, and that's why bugs don't like them. But I just take little baby cuts, and I'm just like tiny cutting it. If you feel like it needs to be cut up more, just go in there and just like cut it. It's got a funky smell. I mean, you could, I wish y'all had smell-o-vision. I was about to tell y'all to smell this, but you can't smell it, but it's got a really kind of funky smell. And it's just really a good natural product. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add, if I had a full, you know, container, which is like I said, you want to do about a half a cup of leaves crushed up or cut up. So that's what they're gonna look like. You're just gonna pour the alcohol over them, and I like to swish it around. You're gonna obviously put a lid on top of it, so I didn't bring my lid out, but just put a lid on top of this. Let this sit for about 48 hours to get all that goodness out of the leaves, so that way you're getting what you need. Now it's going to turn green colored, so make sure if you're spraying this, you're not spraying it on white clothes or something like that. And obviously, like I said, do a test on your skin. Do not spray it on your face or your mouth. You know, if you want to do a little bit on your neck or something, but try it out. You can just take the leaves, like I said before, crush them, and you can just bend them over. Like if we were in a bug out situation, you can just crush them and put them on your skin. And so there are some recipes out there that will tell you that you can add a little bit of like maybe some eucalyptus or some lemon or something like that. You can put a couple of drops of that in there, but I would do that after I let this soak for the 48 hours. I mean, I really prefer 48 hours because you're really getting everything extracted. And like I said, keep that lid on it. And like I said, it'll turn a little bit of green. When it's done, you want to get a strainer and then just strain that off. If you're really good, you can just pour it into a spray bottle like this. This happens to be my hand sanitizer, but you want a colored bottle because it'll help it to last longer. And if you're you know, really wanting to preserve this for quite some time, you can actually put it in the refrigerator. It'll kind of help to not have the elements break down as quickly. Now this, and a nice little spray bottle, this is a 2-ounce little spray bottle. This should last you, after making it this way, because this is a concentrated version of the bug spray, and so it should last you honestly maybe about 2 to 3 months, and I think that's pretty good, because that's about your average summer months, in all honesty. I mean, here in Florida we can use this year round, because we've actually been out on the water. My family's been skiing in December, so you know, it depends on the area that you live in, but we have really high concentrations of areas that have a lot of mosquitoes, like especially if you go down to the Everglades, or in certain areas where there's ponds and whatnot, you're gonna get really a lot of mosquitoes here. We have a lot more pets that will actually get heartworms too, just because they get bit by mosquitoes or they're left outside. Snuggy Smalls, who's actually sitting right next to me, sweet boy, he came from Louisiana, and he came with heartworms. And so that's what I'm saying, depending on the areas that you live in, you're really going to see that prevalency of just an increase of mosquitoes. So keep that in mind. It's just a really nice natural way to treat yourself, and I think in this day and age we really need to be writing these down. I will obviously list the recipe for you down in the comment section. But again, like I've always said for you guys, please make sure that you are writing this down. You never know when you're not going to have access to the internet, or a hurricane comes through. And this is just a really good thing to kind of have on hand to protect yourself from the bugs, the mosquitoes for sure. So that's really what this is more geared for. But now, will it keep ticks off? I don't know. I haven't done my research for that part of it, but it'll definitely keep the mosquitoes away, because if you smell it, it smells kind of weird. And when I walk into that area right there, that's kind of by my pool and stuff, and so I kind of like that plant being there, just because it does keep a lot of mosquitoes away from my pool area too. So that's really nice. Now keep in mind that those plants, the American Beautyberry plant, likes some shade. So if you buy it here in Florida, make sure that you're planting it in a shady area, because it does not produce or do well in our direct sunlight. I have seen those plants get up to 8 feet, so make sure that you've got the space for them, but you can obviously keep them trimmed back. And like I said, don't just pick all the leaves from one section. Make sure that you're kind of just going around the plant and just grabbing from different areas of it, so that way it can just stay healthy and, you know, live its best life with you, and you're not just stripping down one like branch or stem from that plant. So all right friends, hopefully that was beneficial for you all, and that you enjoyed it, and you found a nice natural way to treat mosquitoes, keeping yourself protected from them. So as always friends, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today.